The afternoon sun streamed through the windows of Children's Hospital of Philadelphia as Terry Crews walked down the pediatric wing. He had requested this visit be kept quiet. No cameras, just genuine connection with sick children during his DAO promotional tour. Today felt heavier than usual. His recent struggles with vulnerability and speaking out about personal trauma weighed on his mind. The strong man everyone expected him to be sometimes felt like a mask becoming harder to wear. Terry wore a simple blue shirt and jeans, his warm smile ready despite the heaviness in his heart. Nurse Patricia Williams greeted him at the recreation room door, her experienced eyes noticing something different about him today. "The children are so excited, Mr. Crews," she said warmly. "We have 15 kids here today, some with cancer, others with chronic conditions. They're all incredible fighters." As Terry entered the colorful room filled with artwork and play areas, his eyes were drawn to a corner where 8-year-old Zara Johnson sat alone. Her beautiful dark skin contrasted with the bright yellow headscarf covering her head, a result of chemotherapy for leukemia. Zara had been at the hospital for 3 weeks. After losing her parents in a car accident 2 years ago, she lived with her grandmother who couldn't always visit due to work. The little girl had learned to find strength in solitude, often writing in a notebook that never left her side. While Terry played with other children, arm wrestling, making bracelets, sharing laughs, Zara watched from her corner. She recognized him not just as the actor, but as someone who had spoken openly about pain and vulnerability, about finding strength in difficult times. Something stirred in Zara's heart. For weeks, she'd carried feelings she couldn't express to doctors, or even her grandmother. But watching Terry laugh while carrying what she sensed was his own invisible burden, she felt an unexplainable connection. Quietly, Zara began writing on fresh paper, her small hands gripping the crayon with determination. Words came slowly at first, then urgently as she poured her 8-year-old heart onto the page. Terry moved through the recreation room for the next hour, his charisma bringing smiles to young faces that had seen too much struggle. He helped children with crafts, listened to their dreams, and shared genuine moments of joy, but his eyes kept drifting to Zara, still writing with focused intensity. Something about her thoughtful observation and determined posture drew his attention. Nurse Patricia noticed Terry's glances. "That's Zara Johnson," she whispered. "Leukemia. Lost her parents in an accident, now fighting this battle with just her grandmother. She's incredibly bright but carries more wisdom than any child should have to." The information hit Terry hard. His own struggles suddenly felt smaller compared to what this little girl faced. Patricia continued, "She told me once that pain teaches you things happiness can't." 8 years old with that kind of wisdom. Terry watched as Zara carefully folded her paper and stood up. The yellow headscarf bright against the room's colors. She walked directly toward him with quiet determination. Her steps were steady despite obvious treatment fatigue, dark eyes holding his gaze with startling maturity. "Mr. Crews?" Her voice was soft but clear. "I wrote something for you." Terry knelt to her eye level, his large frame folding to meet her small stature. "You wrote something for me. That's very special, Zara." Instead of handing him the paper directly, Zara did something unexpected. She gently took his large hand in both her small ones and carefully placed the note in his palm, closing his fingers around it. The gesture felt intimate and purposeful, as if transferring something deeper than words. "Read it when you're alone," she whispered with impossible wisdom. Sometimes the most important things need quiet to be understood. Terry felt his throat tighten as he looked into her eyes. He saw not just a sick child, but an old soul who had experienced profound loss yet still found ways to give hope. The paper felt heavier than it should, weighted with everything this girl had endured and learned. "Thank you, Zara," he managed, voice hoarse with emotion. "This means more than you know." She smiled then, radiant and pure, transforming her face with warmth that had nothing to do with sunlight. 30 minutes later, Terry sat in his rental car in the hospital parking garage, Zara's folded note clutched in his hand. The visit had ended with hugs and promises to return, but her whispered words about reading alone echoed in his mind. In the quiet garage, Terry finally unfolded the paper with trembling fingers. The handwriting was careful and deliberate, slightly shaky from small hands working to make every word legible. Dear Mr. Cruz, my name is Zara and I am 8 years old. I have cancer, but that is not the saddest thing about me. The saddest thing is, my mommy and daddy died in a car crash when I was 6, and sometimes I feel all alone, even though my grandma loves me. I watched you on TV talking about being hurt and scared, and I think you are brave. Not because you are big and strong, but because you told the truth about being scared. Most grown-ups pretend, but you said it was okay, and that made me feel less alone. When treatments hurt real bad, I think about what you said about being strong. Enough to be weak. Sometimes I cry, and that is okay, because you said crying doesn't mean weak. My daddy used to say broken things can still be beautiful. That is why we put bandages on cuts, not to hide them, but help them heal while being part of who we are. I think you feel broken sometimes like I do. But you are still beautiful, Mr. Cruz. You help kids like me feel less alone, and that is the most beautiful thing. I hope you know you are loved even when scared or sad. I love you for being honest about being human. Your friend, Zara P.S., Daddy. Said when someone gives you their truth, hold it careful like a butterfly. I am giving you my truth. Please hold it careful. The words blurred as tears filled Terry's eyes. Reading it again revealed new layers of wisdom from this extraordinary child who had faced more loss than most adults ever would. Her words about being strong enough to be weak, his own words reflected back through pure childhood perspective, gave them new meaning and power. In that quiet garage, Terry finally allowed himself to feel his own human fragility. Deep, soul-shaking sobs emerged from places he'd kept locked away. He cried for Zara's strength, for her lost parents, for his own struggles, but mostly with gratitude for this unexpected gift of understanding. After 20 minutes in the parking garage, Terry felt something he hadn't experienced in months: peace and authentic connection to his humanity. He carefully placed Zara's note in his wallet, knowing he'd carry her words forever. 3 days. Later, Terry returned to the hospital with something special. He had worked with a local artist to create a custom children's book with Zara's permission. Beautiful Broken Things told stories of characters discovering strength through vulnerability and beauty through honest struggle. Zara was in her hospital bed when Terry arrived, looking smaller, but with the same bright intelligence. Her grandmother sat beside her, radiating the quiet strength Zara had inherited. I have something for you, Terry said, showing the illustrated book. You inspired this. Your words about broken things being beautiful needed to be shared with other kids. Zara's eyes widened, seeing her wisdom transformed into colorful pages. You made my words into a book. Your words were already powerful, Terry replied gently. I just helped give them wings. Terry had established the Zara's Wisdom Foundation, providing books, art supplies, and therapeutic support to hospitalized children nationwide. The mission: help children find their voice and share their wisdom. You taught me that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's real strength's foundation, Terry told Zara as her grandmother cried with joy. You showed me that sometimes those we think need help most are actually our greatest teachers. Zara reached for Terry's hand. My daddy was right about broken things being beautiful. Look how beautiful we are when we're honest about being broken. 6 months later, Zara's cancer went into remission. A year later, she was declared cancer-free. Her book became a bestseller, with proceeds funding pediatric cancer research. Zara grew up to become a pediatric counselor, helping other children find strength. Terry never forgot that parking garage moment when a child's wisdom broke him down and built him back stronger. He carried Zara's note always, a reminder that profound healing comes from unexpected sources, and true strength lies not in never falling, but in being brave enough to let others help you stand. If this story touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Share this video with someone who needs to hear Zara's message about finding beauty in brokenness. Hit the notification bell and let us know in the comments how this story impacted you. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful reminders of healing through authentic human connection.